Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming to my course on spreadsheets, and I'm happy and excited to look forward to showing you what I got. So what I decided to do to best facilitate on how you can maximize your spreadsheets and get the most out of them is to take a very manual process and then automate it to not just, for keeping up with the speedy sakes of everything, but more also producing less human error. So what I decided to use for this course is the good faith estimate. So I'm not sure if everyone here has used that, but this would be a great opportunity to show you how we can automate a particular item where you wouldn't expect to live in a spreadsheet. And then I'm going to show you all the different types of tactics and formulas that I've used to overcome certain hurdles as I built this tool. So, that being said, real quick, to say that I have prepared several workbooks that we can use for interactive if you guys want to follow along as we apply these formulas. You can get those Excel documents, or the alternative, it would be the Google Sheets, and that will be located under my presentation course. So you can find all those downloads conveniently located there. You can also do that on your desktop, and if anyone has any questions on how to find that, please let me know and I can help guide you guys there. So real quick, I want to show you the good faith estimate form. It should be right here. So the good faith estimate form essentially is for cash paying customers, and there's some stipulations, rules, and guidelines that they have in order to qualify for the good faith estimate. Part of that being one visit can't be more than $400. And so I use that as a portion of making some logic statements so that if they select a visit reason and all those procedure codes tally up for over 400, it will alert the person that is working on that form that you guys have reached over the maximum amount. These are the forms that the AAP as well as PCC has produced to help kick off any of the GFEs, the good faith estimates. And as you can see here, besides the disclaimer, you have the patient's demographics as well as like the NPI number and everything else. And more importantly, they have this makeshift table here, which is a checkoff kind of situation. However, that being said, this can be a very tedious task if a patient calls and they need a specific visit reason. Then the front desk or whoever is manning the front will need to check it off for the appropriate procedure codes, and then also calculate the price at the end to make sure that they can give the quote. And then down here, you'll see that you have the estimated total cost and everything else. So as you can see, this would be a very manual process. It also shows that you can have these opportunities of possibly having these human errors by maybe a calculation mistake or something along that lines. So what I decided to do, I decided to use this to build the tool which will more or less automate pretty much the entire form. So and we'll go through the different types of formulas that I've used to build this very tool here. So for example, instead of, when a patient calls in and is requesting one for one of these forms, what you would do is find the patient within the EHR, get their PCC number, and then you would just enter the values here. So I have a couple examples, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then as we can see here, what it will do, it will pull in the patient's name, date of birth, and then it will also pull in the guarantor's billing name, address, so forth, the rest of the demographics. And then for the part where you need to get the procedure codes for the visit reasons, I created these drop downs where you could just select one of these, either for new patient or established. And by doing so, it will pull in the procedure codes per visit reason, as well as the estimated charge price that you would do for each procedure code. And then down below here, it will tally it up. Alternatively, it also adds, I personally added a buffer just in case, just to make sure that the patient will probably more likely walk away paying less than what the quote said. So that was just an additional thing that I added. Now, let's say if there was a couple additional procedure codes that need to be added, and we just needed to add a couple more dollar values. Just for an example, I'll throw $300 in. It changed, instead of calculating the price, it says that you're over your $400 maximum amount to make sure that we comply with the good faith estimates curricular. So again, just to quickly recap, this is where we're going to go for the, if you want to follow along, or if you actually want to get these tools, you feel free to take these. I have all the formulas and equations already built into it. I also have different sections that are devoted to showing you how they work, and you can take those home ready to use as needed. So I'll go ahead and put it back into the presentation view.
How did the Excel spreadsheet know that patient?
So, good question. So how they knew that is, one second. So part of the building building this tool, I took out the patient demographic form. I ran a patient list, and that was within my spreadsheet here. And let me go ahead and bounce back to that real quick. So you'll see down below here, I have these different tabs. And this is going to be, as we go through the rest of the presentation, it's going to talk about how to prepare a spreadsheet in order to be fully autonomous as much as it can. So part of that is to get the patient's demographics. So this is what you would run out of like the report library. In fact, this is exactly what I did, except for I randomly generated this patient demographics. And so this is my reference table. And this is how, when you enter the PCC number, it will pull in this data based off the formulas that we placed into those cells to make sure that it is picking up a lot of that legwork. So this would be all come from your reports right out of the EHR or practice management. And then just for a quick example, we have a few other tabs here. Some are going to go into other reporting, some out of the practice management, and some of the hurdles that comes with exporting data out of practice management. And some of that stuff is, for example, you probably are familiar with either some kind of export of data where all the data is in one long string but one cell, and you can't really use that for your functions, your VLOOKUPs, or your index matches. So I'm going to show you how to do a regular expression extract. That is going to be more of a complicated formula, and we're going to get to that, but that'll be towards the end. Did I answer your question? Perfect. So we'll go back over to here. Instead of going to full screen, let me know if you need it full screen just so you can, for readability. It'll just be easier to bounce back between the tools and the interactive sheets that I prepared. So basically, I'm describing about how you would want to build your tools, your spreadsheets for anything that you need to automate. So I like to always ask the question is, what is it that you need to report outside of the EHR that you need to pull into a spreadsheet? And then when you have that data out of there, why is it that you pulled it out? I'm assuming that it's because you need to have it, you need to get some kind of reporting or some analytics that you can't necessarily do within the EHR. So that's where you're reporting and extracting that data out of there. So the thing that I, that I like to question is, when you do that, which part of that is a very manual process? And then once you've identified that, you can start to put together on how you want to build your spreadsheet so that you don't have as much of a manual process. And when I've actually put it back into the presentation show here. So anyways, we were going to be talking about the automation. It also simplifies a lot of the movements where the front desk would have to enter in the patient demographics, patient's name, date of birth, their address, and so forth. I also, as you saw, where I added a drop down, which would then provide all of the different types of visit reasons and the procedure codes that would go with that. That would be something that your practice would have to decide for what you think is the most general set of procedure codes for that particular visit reason. Once you have built that, then this is when your report will definitely shine. As well as setting that up in order to do that is that it will, by preparing these drop downs, it will also then pull in the dollar amounts for those charges. And as you can see that it will calculate that and also prevent any mistyping, fat fingering, whatever you want to call it, of when they need to calculate all the different types of charge codes. So again, reduces human error. So then this is seamlessly incorporates patient data like a master detective. So basically where I'm getting at is automation is going to be key. And again, rethink about all the things for those manual processes. And once you do that, you can then build a proper spreadsheet to pull in and basically get the results that you're looking for to get out of it. So again, this is talking about the foundation of how you prepare it, as well as your most trustworthy formulas that you will probably be using to pull data over from all those other raw, I call them raw data, and that's where all the reports that you get and that you want to automatically pull over. And these are going to be the tools that you use to do that very notion of getting that stuff over into one sheet. Is everyone familiar with most of these formulas here? Well, so we're going to start with some of the basics then, and I will show you how to do that, and we'll progressively go into further, more complex formulas and equations. So the part that I will start off with will be a sum if, and I'll be able to explain that. Again, for the attachments that I have, go into detail on how to set these up. So if you miss any of the steps in here, you'll certainly be able to have the presentation as well as the tools that are already there that will walk you through it at your own pace whenever you need it. All right. So we're going to start off with something more basic, and that's going to be the sum if function. That's where we saw where it, when the procedure codes presented themselves as well as the prices, it summed, it totaled up those prices, and then produced the tally. So again, it adds up all the cells within the range that you set up. In that case, the tool that I built was in C15 through C21, and then with any dollar values in there, that's what it's going to add up. So then the if logic will come into play when if, for this case, I was trying to stick within the parameters of if your value, the total is above 400, then to just say, hey, you know, you've reached your maximum limit. That way, we're not sending out good faith estimates that are not within compliance of the GFA rules. So again, this would be the syntax for that if function. Basically, if it's true, then just go ahead and let it calculate. And if it's false, then that's when you have the opportunity to have it state whatever you would like. So I will bounce over to that tool for a quick second. And in fact, I'm just going to move this. All right, so now I don't have to keep bouncing around, and this is where I will break down just this particular formula. So I try not to lose you, but also explain how to set this up. So I tried to color code coordinate this so that you can see the formula here. This is, as you saw in the PowerPoint slide, where your logic comes into play. So it's going to take the C15 to C21, which will be this range right here. This is the cost. That's the range that I set up. And then the logic part is going to be if it's greater than 400, and if that's true, it's going to say over maximum amount. And that's where you can put whatever you want in between double quotes. And if it's less than 400, it's just going to do what it's supposed to do, and that's sum up the prices. So we can just quickly do an example here. Let's say 125. Oh yes, sorry, I gotta put the formulas into place. So if you were ever building spreadsheets, you can put a single apostrophe in front of it, and then that will make it so that the formula is presented, because if not, it will be hidden, ready to do its job. So in that case, I wanted to have it there so you guys could see it. So I'm just going to quickly copy this, and I'm going to put it within this cell here, and hit enter. And as we can see, it's going to start calculating these up. And then we'll throw in a $50 charge, and then another 100. And then as soon as we get over that maximum 400, it's going to say over maximum amount. And that's because of the if logic nested with the sum formula. And then I'll go ahead and take my sum, and I'll populate that over here. And the reason why I decided to leave it broken as the hashtag value, that's another thing that's like, well, that doesn't clearly look right. And that's another visual cue to draw them to be like, there's a reason why there's an error, and that's because it's over the $400. So just to show us that once it does work properly, we'll get rid of the $200, and then it has the $275 total. And then I gave that 15% buffer, which is right below that. So it depends, that's just a personal preference. I would think that it would be good to slightly overquote a patient in case the dollar amount isn't, taxes, whatever. It just gives an extra buffer so that the patient isn't surprised. So that was just a personal thing. Feel free to use it or not. Any questions so far on that? All right. Okay, so that was going to be talking about, that's the sum if. Those are the nested. Those are two different formulas. If is the logic. Sum is the other function that just tallies up the dollar amounts or other digits. And again, this is the example in action. Just to quickly review what we just went through. And then this is going to go into detail. This is the part that I was saying, if I happen to have lost you in any of these setups, again, feel free to download this, use it at your own pace, as well as any of the other attachments that I added. I wanted to point out again that I also made one for Google Sheets and Excel. The syntax are slightly different for some of the functions, so that's why I did add both. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to get into is the index match versus like VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP is considered vertical lookup. So what that means is that you're going to put this formula in the respective row, and then you're going to drag it down vertically, and then it's going to pull in the data on that same row. And that's similar to what we saw when we put the patient PCC number in. However, I used index match because there is a big difference between the two. They do yield the same result. They can pull the same results, which is it looks up what you want to match. In this case, was a patient PCC number, and then depending on the columns that you set up for the VLOOKUP, it will pull in the data within that row as you enter the value. The limitations is the fact that VLOOKUP can only go left to right. Index match can go up, down, left, or right. It's not bound to going from left match to the right. With that being said, VLOOKUPs are designed to be quick. They're also a great formula for validating that your data is correct by using two different functions to make sure that one that you're probably more familiar with matches what your index matches. So it's a good validating data validator. I have a table of the difference of the pros and cons between index and match and VLOOKUP, and you'll have that table if you need it. But here's your key takeaways. VLOOKUP is for like the quick lookup. If you just need to run a report and just need to get a quick set of data, that's going to be a companion. They're easy to set up. And then index match is going to be a little more complicated. However, it is more designed for those complex data sets. And that is something that can really, just that alone can really expand some of your, give you an instant lift in productivity and also error handling, because it can go up, down, left, and right, whereas again, VLOOKUP is only from left to right. So part of that is that the other part, index match is really good, is that if you're going to be making updates to your tools, it can better incorporate, it can better adapt to with those new updates and challenges that you may throw at it, whereas VLOOKUP will instantly break. Again, this will just be a quick summary of what we did, but this will be the syntax of how to use index match. And this will go into details on how to, if you guys aren't familiar with index match, this will explain on how to set that up. And then again, I have those tools that are, the problem is like if you ever go to like Stack Overflow or any other like Excel Jet, They usually have you like sort fruits and vegetables. So I thought it was would be more appropriate to give you guys something that you actually use on a daily basis, and that's using patients' their PCC number and other key points. So I thought that would be a better way to teach on how to use these formulas. So again, this will teach you how index is its own formula, but when you put it with a match, it will, those are your like duo, and that will be your robust lookup tool. And then it will explain how to match the two together. And again, this will show you how to incorporate it with any other existing workbooks that you guys currently use. So basically, I made a workflow chart too as well, hopefully giving you different ways of seeing how the index match will work. Will give you a better understanding when it comes to using this, because this is a more of an industry-leading set of formulas that will be key to updating any existing reports. Again, we'll see here, you enter the patient PCC number, and you will get your output that you're looking for. Again, if you run anything out of the report library or practice management, it comes in as always in the exact columns. So usually patient PCC number is not at the far left. So that is exactly why you would want to use index match, so you can look left of the matching criteria. All right. So we are going to get into something a little more, I guess, a little more detailed, a little more in-depth. Is anyone familiar with regular expressions? It is, thanks Arlo. So regular expressions are, instead of making a match off of a unique identifier like a patient PCC number, you can use regular expressions, like I want to match dollar symbols, and then I also only want a dollar symbols within the next 5 digits. Or you wanted to use dates, so you can use different set of criterias that would be like considered a regular expression. And it can be complicated to see how the formula is set up. But I'm going to go in detail to kind of explain and break it down to hopefully help you understand how to use a regular expression extract. So I'll ask again, does anyone have any reports when they run it where all the data is in one cell and you wish that you could pull like the procedure codes or maybe the dollar amount where the data is just in one cell? I'm hoping that someone, no? All right. Yes? Okay, perfect. So this tool will be invaluable for you, and it will save a lot of time, because I actually use this tool in order to extract the procedure codes from some of the SRS reports that I use to build this tool just for demonstration purposes. But that being said, you can repurpose this for all those other reports that are all in that single cell data, and you can use it to extract it for future reports. I also provided how the flowchart of regex works. And as we can see here, what this is all of the data in column A. And what I needed was a list of procedure codes. So with this formula, I was able to just extract the procedure codes right out of that string of data, and was immediately able to use it for my index match. So I didn't have to use, sometimes you can use what split the text or use delimiters, but not all reports come with, usually you'll get a caret. That's the shift 6, the little triangle piece. That will usually, or it's comma separated, where you could split the text based off of that delimiter. However, as you can see, spaces there is multiple spaces, so it will break the data out and it doesn't always work. This is a for sure way to get the data you're looking for out of a string of it. And I will happily show you, I have like another interactive sheet to show you how it works. Oh yeah, so just to quickly back up, I forgot to show you, I do have a workbook on setting up the index matches. Again, I did the color coordinating, and that's how I was able to get, by just entering the PCC number, I was able to get the data I was looking for, and those are the individual formulas that you would place into the color coordinated areas to get that data. I'll show us back on the full tool, but this is there for you to more along the lines get a better understanding on how to use these set of formulas. But let's go take a look at the regular expression extract. So right here, as we can see, column A is fully expanded, and then within column A, we have well visit, procedure code, and all this other stuff that you may potentially want. And granted, I pulled in, so I wanted to extract just this set of information. So this formula will do exactly that. And this has several formulas nested together. But by copying that, pasting it into here, just that one little formula, it pulls all the procedure codes down. It pulls all the procedure codes down, and it will skip anything that doesn't match it. So now, if I go back into this cell here, you'll see that it's a static procedure code, and you can easily VLOOKUP or index match on that. And as you can see, that's a huge time saver, especially if you have a very lengthy practice management report and you were always hoping that to extract a very set of information. I'm going to go ahead and then show you that with regex, you can also, we're going to pull in the procedure code charge price. So I'll go ahead and insert that one for you. And as you can see, I was able to quickly extract the price for that procedure code. Now, if I were to put it, I could do the procedure code in column B. I could do this $1 in column C, and then I got the procedure code and the dollar amounts side by side, extracted from that single set of data. And I'm hoping to, open it up to show you how easy it is to get that data out of that string of data at that single strand. And hopefully I'll be able to explain it well enough where it is something that you can easily incorporate into your other area. So I have some devoted slides that breaks down on how to build it. But again, more importantly, you can actually, like I said, download these. The formulas are already built, and just with some minor tweaking, you will be able to just repurpose this anywheres. Any questions so far? Yes?
Does this only work for numbers, or you can extract words as well?
You can yes, so you can use words. So that's the beautiful part about a reg extract. So I was hoping to show you that it's not just numbers, but also special characters. That's why I used the dollar symbol and then pulled the string of numbers. But you can pull in words as well, and you can limit it to however many characters you need as on top of that. So you can get very detailed, and I have a list on how to set those up. And I tried my best to prepare as many different situations for that. But regex is an extremely powerful tool. So I spent some time building a couple slides devoted to breaking it down and trying to simplify how to build it and understand it, because it's one of those things that it's going to take a little while to fully grasp, but once you do, it's invaluable. And for that matter, once you have it in place to doing certain certain kind of polls, you will be able to use that same syntax for anything else, and with just some minor tweaks. Let me go back into my slideshow. Did I answer your question? All right, perfect. So I don't know if you can quite read this from all the way in the back. So I do apologize for that. But this kind of breaks down the, this also breaks down the array formula. That's where, as you saw, I pasted the one formula and it just pasted all the values. That's for a Google Sheets specific, but Excel has the same thing, but it's called filter. And that will also do the same function as well. And it can be, with a little slight syntax difference, you can still achieve the same desired effects. So that one formula that I showed where we were pasting it into that one cell, and within that moment, it not just pulled the procedure codes, but it but then it also got rid of any of the NAs. That's the hashtag NA not applicable. It means it didn't make a match. So that's where the if error comes in. So you can neaten it up. For example, the reason why that could be important, not just for visual appeal, but more importantly, that's how we get it for the for this tool here. Because if everything said NA when this was all blank, that wouldn't be a very good form to print out. It wouldn't look clean. It would just, it's not something you would want to send out to the patients. So that's where the if error comes in. Because once I delete this, this would normally say if NA, if I didn't have this if error nested within here. So basically, this is about 5 different formulas combined into one to make a very logic sound, very tight formula that is guaranteed to produce no errors. Okay, and so again, my slides are going to go and start talking about how they interact with each other. It will go into more details on how to use these, and hopefully explain it in such a way that it's easy to understand, because sometimes when you go to try to use a new formula, it doesn't quite, or at least for me, it didn't make a lot of sense reading like the not so helpful, well, COL underscore num, that's column by number, and usually when you type in the formulas in Excel like that for the first time, it doesn't really help in having a good breakdown. Hopefully will provide and shed that light that you need on it to understand it. So again, this helps with like repetitive tasks, makes data extraction precise and efficient, as we saw. But it is, but I wanted to show you why it is important to at least consider learning on how to do this. So then I go into the breakdown. This is the array formula, and then it will explain why I use the criteria that I used in order to get the desired results, and hopefully make it easier for you to repurpose it for any other spreadsheets that you currently have. With the regex, I explained what the /B/D is, and those are more barrier breaks, and that's to help define the either the characters that you're looking for, or D will be for digits. And then the squiggly curly brackets is for your array. So you want 5 digits or whatever however many characters that you're looking for to extract. Why that would be good would be, say, if you wanted the procedure codes, but you also wanted the modifiers. And you would be able to easily pull that with regex. And then this is where I provide the Google variant. And then this is the Excel way of doing it, because I wasn't sure if people are on the Google Spreadsheets or the Excel team, but I did provide it for both so that you can use it. To get the same procedure codes, I used if error mid A3 find, but I used in quotes 99 for the procedure codes that I needed for the well visits in order to provide this demo for you. So I did provide for each of the different formulas, you have an Excel and a Google Sheet version. And then this will go into detail of how to set it up step by step. Just because we're limited on time, I left it, I won't bore you specifically on this. However, I have detailed it multiple different ways for you. So again, just a quick screenshot. This is the before. Then this is with the after you apply the formula. You'll see those NAs that I was talking about, and then with an if error, you can clean that up. So you'll be able to easily report or do lookups and matches. Just in case they were kind of tiny, I decided to give you a bigger screenshot. So. And then to go back to answering your question back there, you can use it for many other things than just pulling digits. You can use it for many other characters. This, as I was explaining, will describe why and how to set it up in order to pull what you're looking for, to make sure your regular expressions are exactly what you're looking for. So these are some other examples that you can use regex for. You can extracting dates, finding specific words, and validating data. And so I provided different ways of reusing regex for those other possibilities. So it is a very flexible and powerful tool. I decided to add the one for pulling the dollar amounts along with the procedure codes and explaining it in more simple terms, hopefully to help curb with that learning curve there for you. So we're going to quickly recap. These are very powerful tools you're going to have in your utility belt. This will help you really facilitate and expand on any maybe current tools that you currently have. And this is one of many ways to do it. These are the, again, these are the hurdles that I overcame or that I had presented when building this tool. And these are the tools that I used in order to get the data that I needed. This quickly helped me build the tool and also prevent minimal manual entry. It's just a matter of entering a PCC number and selecting a visit from the dropdown. Any questions? Yes. Yes, yeah, please go ahead. I believe the mic is off, so you'll have to turn it on. It's right there, yeah. Yep, Sabina can help you out.
I don't know about everyone else, but I feel, you know, that nightmare you have where you haven't been in class like all year. You get there on the last day and there's an exam and you don't know what's happened. This is also over my head. If we have a spreadsheet project that we're trying to work on, how much is it okay to ask someone from PCC to help us through some of these steps?
Well, that's a great question. And I would say that I don't necessarily have the greatest answer. However, I can tell you that I would be more than happy to assist with it as much as I can, that I can accommodate if I have the time available. I have been known to help build many complex tools for a lot of our clients. And I'm happy to walk people through that. My hope is to educate you so that you can understand these, so that you can take that and disseminate that along the rest of your crew. I don't know if that's necessarily in PCC scopes, but I do know that reporting is very important, and I can say that I have been known to assist in setting up a lot of these. Any other questions?
There was a question online. They're wondering if there's a reason that cash pay can't exceed the $400.
Well, yeah, that's a good question. I'm going to actually defer to the Learn article, and I don't know if this will cover it. I was trying to find I'm not too familiar with like the reports that you guys need to pull out of the EHR and what the reasons are behind that. I was trying to make a custom tailored presentation, and what I found was a good faith estimate. And then, so the criteria that I found was provided by our education team at learn.pcc.com. And they list some of the guidance as well as AAP. So I would highly recommend going to learn.pcc.com, and then at the search bar, just type in GFE, good faith estimate. And that's where I was able to find this. So just to quickly cover this page, this is where it talks about the $400. And trying to be as accurate as possible. So I thought that this would be a very good opportunity, like a very good example to build this course on it, because it is a new thing that has been that is out there, and I know that there isn't a good way of preparing these forms. So I got all of my material and my guidelines was from this page here, but it does have some stuff from the AAP as well as whatever went and picked up for research and got the actual criteria. So I would definitely defer to this page here. More importantly, I don't know if I actually explained it, but the part is that you also need to print this out and give this to the patient. So the reason why the GFE tool is important is because you can just print this as a form, and then you can upload it to the portal. So they'll have a copy, they'll have that receipt. You can print it out, you can attach it to their visit forms. So this tool I created is not complete, because I honestly am oblivious to which procedure codes go to which visit reasons. However, I prepared the outline for you guys to take this and fill it out to however you need it. That being said, it is, all the tools are there. You would just paste your report into here, and because I didn't want to use actual patient data, this is out of report library, patient list, but randomly generated names, numbers, all of that, but you can just copy and paste your own report into there, and you just have to put the PCC number, and it will work. That also being said, you will need to update your what you charge for the procedure codes. So what I did was, this is another stock report out of out of the EHR and practice management. This one is a practice management report for just procedure codes from your TED table. And what I like to do is highlight, so whenever there's a formula, I always like to highlight it with a color. And that's because that will distinguish the difference between static information and something that's formulaic. And so in this case, I needed to get the procedure codes. That's how I used the regex. And then I also got the Schedule A price point. I don't know what way your practice would decide for a dollar amount for a cash paying customer or patient. So I just used, I set up a quick formula and just did 45% of whatever you charge for insurance. So please feel free to update that to fit your needs. And then I just notated, just for my purpose, this, honestly, I don't know if I grabbed the best reports because I don't necessarily live in, within the reporting area, but these are the reports that stood out to me that I thought were important in order to build this. Feel free to use your reports to update it to what you actually use into your day-to-day life. Any other questions? Again, this tool is built. You guys are free to download it and use it if you'd like. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know.
Come up to the microphone. So there's a lot of materials in this. Are they to download? Maybe like on the UC app?
Yes, they are on the UC. Yep, they're on the UC app, and if you look at my course, I've provided, so you can log in via your web browser, as I have here. You can just click on this. Oh, no, let's not do that. You'll find all the attachments here. I'm forever. I have no point of taking it down, and feel free to. I don't know. I'll have to talk with the UC team and how it gets translated over after the UC is done. But like I said, these are the Excel versions and also the different tutorials on how to set up each individual one, as well as the completed tool. And these here are the Google spreadsheets. That's what I was demonstrating on. And they are also here for you to use. So they're all there for you. And I set it up as best as I could. And I guess what I wanted to say is, like, I'm hoping to inspire you that if there's things that you wish your spreadsheet could do, or you just had an idea, feel free to ask me, and more than likely we could make it happen. So I don't know. Hopefully you guys saw something out of the box that you normally don't see with spreadsheets, and that's what I was hoping to present. And if there's no other questions, I guess that's it. Thank you very much.